What's going on, everybody? Cowboy C3 coming to you after the final preseason game against the LA Chargers. I almost called them the San Diego Chargers. I'm so used to them being in San Diego still. Um, Final score 26-19. Um, hmm, where do we start? Um, Game started off. Cowboys kind of struggled on offense. Actually, they had a pretty good opening drive. Excuse me. Sorry, choked. Went back, went down, got a field goal. Defense came out, did not look terrible at the beginning of the game. However, former Cowboy Simi Fehoko beat Andrew Booth for a 74-yard touchdown. Beat him on the play, caught the ball, stiffed arm Booth to the ground, ran the ball down the right sideline, touchdown. Next drive, offense looked kind of lost. Trey Lance making some questionable decisions through an interception. Chargers come back down, score on a big reverse, 70 yards, another touchdown. After that, Trey Lance kind of settled in, got comfortable, completed some passes, completed some contested passes as well. Drove the ball down the field. Cowboys score 17-10 going into the half. Easton Stick, the quarterback for the Chargers, played well. Kind of was picking the Cowboy defense apart. Some receivers were wide open. Kind of some coverage schemes, probably some blown coverages, just people that don't play a lot, probably. You know what I mean? Well, not probably, definitely don't play a lot out trying to make the team. Kind of getting beaten coverage. But they shored that up. They did a good job. They started dialing up pressure. One thing that I've noticed about this entire preseason that there has been no pressure on the quarterback whatsoever. There just hasn't been. Well, today they started dialing up blitzes, timely blitzes, getting pressure on the quarterback, making Easton Stick kind of fumble around in the backfield and make him make some decisions, make him make some quick decisions, and he couldn't do it. Trey Lance gets a 40-yard run down the sideline. He ended up being the leading rusher, had 11 rushes for 90 yards and a touchdown, 46-yard touchdown. Kind of got him back into the game. And then, to be honest with everybody, it just went to shit. It did. It went to shit. Trey Lance finished the game 33 of 49 for 323 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times, 11 yards lost. His quarterback rating was a 52.9. That about sums it up. The last play of the game summed up the entire preseason for Trey Lance. Slot receiver broke open, flashed open in the middle of the field on a little skinny post, had a safety over the top on his right side. Trey Lance throws the ball behind him to his right side. In the middle of the end zone, there's nobody there. You put that in the middle of the end zone. He may have to launch, he may have to dive for it, but it'll be a touchdown. As long as the receiver catches, holds onto the ball, it'll be a touchdown. And at least you salvage a tie. And it's not the fact that you even need to win. It's a preseason game. You're out. Preseason games are for evaluation. The game had been rough for him. He has excellent athletic ability. He has the ability to break contain. He has the ability to run the ball down the field. And he has the ability to hit open receivers, just not consistently. That is his major, major flaw. Sometimes he sees things late and he'll pull the trigger and it'll end up either being an interception or almost an interception. He threw a pass on his 4th interception of the game. He rolled. Blitz came. He broke contain, He got outside. There was another guy coming in. He kind of drifted back and he threw the ball off his back foot and the pass was high. And the receiver the DB just took the ball from the receiver. There was another interception where he tried to throw the ball, tried his third interception. He tried to fit the ball between a linebacker and a safety to the receiver. There's no possible way that he completes that pass. There's no possible way. Linebacker tips the ball up in there, intercepts it himself, and I think runs it in for a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. It was a pick six. Those are the type of decisions that he has to go away from. Cooper Rush does not make those decisions. That's why Cooper Rush doesn't make those decisions as often as Trey Lance does. He is very talented. He is a very talented athlete. I'm just not sure he can play quarterback in the NFL. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying at this point right now, he can't play. He cannot. He couldn't be the quarterback of a team that is a playoff contender. You're going to get a lot of mistakes. You are going to get a lot of close calls. He does bring you a lot of athletic ability. He is extremely mobile. He showed you today on the 46-yard run. He's fast. He can run. Throwing the ball, however, he's not consistent. He will thread the needle on a throw and then throw a pass that will make you ask, why did you throw that the next play? I told you guys before in the pregame, I looked for Deuce Vaughn to do things, and he did. 9 rushes for 53 yards, 5.9 yards per carry. Royce Freeman had 8 carries for 35 yards. Malik Davis had 5 for 28. Snoop Conner had 4 for 22. And Nathaniel Pete had 3 for 14. Receiving, Deontay Burnett had 3 catches for 40 yards. John Stevens Jr. had 3 catches for 40 yards. He also had a big fumble. Just got kind of got complacent with the ball. Made a good catch across the middle. Flashed behind the linebacker. Trey Lance hit him on a beautiful pass. Going down, safety wrapped his hand around his left hip, came over with the right hand and just kind of swiped the ball out before his knee hit the ground. It was a fumble right before the half. But other than that, he played pretty well. Tyron Billy Johnson played a good game. Ryan Florney had another touchdown catch, had 3 catches for 30 yards. Brevin Spanford had 3 catches for 28 yards. I just don't see how he makes the roster. I don't. If the Cowboys keep 3 tight ends, I think your 3 tight ends are Jake Ferguson, Schoonmaker, probably John Stevens. Peyton Hendershot didn't even play today, which could be that Peyton Hendershot didn't play today because he's going to play in the regular season, and he'll be the 3rd tight end. But John Stevens Jr. is an athletic tight end, more athletic than Schoonmaker, just doesn't block as well. And to be honest with you, he wasn't a 2nd-round pick, so they're going to play Schoonmaker. Defensively, Imani Johnson led the team with 5 tackles today. Julius Wood had a hell of a game. He played well. Safety number 33. He played well. He had 4 tackles. Also had some pass breakups. Pass defended. He had two passes defended. Defensive line played well towards the end of the game. Did a good job stopping the run. The Chargers really didn't do much. After the 2 big splash plays, they didn't really do too much. The defense kind of held them in the game because with these 5 turnovers, this score could have been a whole lot worse. If you're looking at it in the perspective of a regular season game, 5 turnovers, that could be a lot. Now, mind you, these are second-team players playing, third-team players playing, players trying to make the team, but they're playing hard, and they're going against guys that are just in the same position that they are. The defense held down the fort and gave the Cowboys opportunities to score go-ahead touchdowns, and just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And we'll see what that means. I think you got a lot of roster answers today. You also got a lot of guys that made it difficult for you to get rid of. They did. Julius Wood, it's going to be hard for you to get rid of him. And you got a safety room that's full. It's full. He played well today. And, you know, everybody always remembers your last performance. They always do. They'll be like, yeah, well, his last game, he played his ass off, right? And that's the type of tape that you want to put out right before this Wednesday comes, when it goes from 90 to 53. I just don't know. I know that Jerry said that Trey Lance is on this 53-man roster. I just don't know where he fits in. The only thing that makes sense is the emergency quarterback on Sundays. That's the only thing that makes sense. And if that gets hurt, or if Cooper Rush gets hurt for some reason, then you have another quarterback on the roster that already knows the offense. We'll have to see. Like, I'm really not sure. I don't know the plans for the Dallas Cowboys these last couple of weeks, especially, you know, you got a big contract negotiation going on with your quarterback. You got a big contract negotiation going on with your wide receiver who's yet to be in camp. And the entire time, your defensive player, your best defensive player, is watching this the entire time, and he's got a contract situation coming up next year. Everything's kind of been uncertain, right? Dak looks phenomenal in practice, throwing the ball to the receivers that he's given right now. Your running game is a question mark. Your offensive line, just strictly because of the rookies that you have involved on your offensive line, is you have a rookie starting this. You're probably going to have a rookie starting at center. If not, he's going to get some playing time in football games. And your left tackle, because of injury, is going to be a rookie. You're going to have question marks on your offensive line. Your defensive line has kind of shored itself up with trades, bringing in bodies. Your linebacker room, you have addressed your linebacker room. Your secondary took a big blow with Deron Bland going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. But I think you can survive for that long. I think so. You may have to bring in some veteran help. I was looking at a list of corners. Xavier Howard is still available in free agency. Adoree Jackson is available. There's some guys that are available. I said that Stephon Gilmore was available. I'm not sure that he is anymore. But there's some guys, some veteran guys that you can bring in that can just hold down the fort until Deron Bland gets healthy. You also have Carson out on the corner. That's a rookie. He's going to go through his rookie hiccups, especially dealing with receivers, starting NFL receivers, which he hasn't seen much of this preseason. But he's going to have to face some veterans, first couple of weeks. But your safety play is pretty decent. Malik Hooker's not terrible at safety. He's not going to give up too much deep. So you got some safety help over there. You may have to run it like a 2-man or something just to get you over that hump until you can get Deron Bland and you can go back to just strictly running man-to-man coverage and just tying up one-on-one to receiver. It is just a stress fracture. I think they did the surgery just to make sure it heals faster than what it would heal just healing on its own. But they got a lot of questions to answer here in the next 3 days. Once this roster comes out and we see it, we'll be able to kind of disseminate what we think or what my opinion would be on how, one, the team would look on Sundays, and then for two, like how we match up against our opponents each and every week. And on Wednesday, once the roster comes out, we'll take the schedule and we'll just break it down, and we'll see, like, legitimately take a look at it and see whether we can compete in some of these games or whether it's just going to be, we just flat out lose. And this is all predicated on CeeDee Lamb signing his contract, not taking this cap, well, not a cap hit, but his penalty. His penalty for missing every football game when the regular season starts is $1 million. So every game that he misses is a $1 million fine. So I don't expect him to miss many. I don't expect him to miss any regular season games. I think he'll show up, even if they are in a contract negotiation. Still, I expect him to show up. Well, I hope he shows up. But I expect him to show up, and he'll be on a pitch count for the first couple of weeks, just getting himself acclimated back into the flow of the game. But he'll be there, and CeeDee Lamb for the last 2 or 3 years has come through when you need it. Questionable about the playoff game in the first half, but I think you guys know what I mean. But kind of disappointed, but then again, not necessarily surprised with the performance today. Trey Lance is kind of what we've been alluding to throughout the previous episodes. He is a work in progress. He probably needs to sit back for a couple of years and just kind of study the game, get his work in practice, get his work in these preseason games, and maybe one day it'll stick. There are some teams that may need some quarterback help in the future, and he can come in and he can do very athletic things for you and put some points on the board for your offense. But at the same time, he has a very bad habit of turning over the football. He does. I played quarterback myself. When I was in high school, it was a very, very, very scripted offense. You made one read, you made the second read. If 1 and 2 are not there, you run. Got to college, played wide receiver in college. Got into my military career, and I played semi-pro football. And I noticed that, once I started playing semi-pro ball, they trusted me to throw the ball a lot. And we're talking about 2 totally different levels of football, though. But I noticed that I trusted my arm more than I should. I tried to throw the ball into windows that I shouldn't have thrown the ball into. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I had to learn to control my thought processes, right? Like, my arm is strong enough where I can get the ball in between these 2 defenders. I can get the ball in between them and get the ball to the wide receiver. And the DBs are like, I know he's going to try to get the ball in between us. And they're just closing in the gap and making the interception. I had to learn not to do that. I don't think Trey Lance, and this is a much higher level of football than I ever played, right? But the position is still the same. You have to make reads. You have to complete passes. You have to put the ball in positions where your wide receiver can catch the ball. Only your wide receiver can catch the ball. And he's not doing a good job of that. He hasn't done a good job of that all camp. The thing that saves him the most is his athletic ability. His ability to kind of break a play down, roll out of the pocket, let the secondary break down, and somebody breaks open and he does a good job of hitting them. If he is asked to stand in the pocket and deliver a pass, a lot of times it just doesn't go good. It doesn't. And I'm not sure that you can win with a quarterback like that. I'm not sure. But statistics will show you that your chances of winning are Very slim. So we'll wait and see. Anything big pops off, especially anything with the CeeDee Lamb thing, I'm coming back live. I don't care if it happens 20 minutes from now. They sign CeeDee Lamb to a contract, but we're coming back live again. We're going to do it. But in the meantime, 53-man roster will be made on Wednesday. There will be some people that will be cut from the football team. I'm very interested to see what they do, specifically in the running back room, wide receiver room, tight end room, and the safeties. And the linebackers. Hell, I'm just interested in the whole thing. So any kind of updates come up, players start getting cut, players from other teams start getting cut, and they have the potential to come here, we'll talk about it. Yeah, until then, I'm gonna sit back and probably enjoy this last preseason game, probably have me a little adult beverage and relax. You guys try to do the same. Have a great, safe night, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.